The Mughal Empire. From the 16th to the 18th centuries, these rulers held sway over the Indian subcontinent. Their legacy? Monuments that still steal the breath, intricate art that mesmerizes, a tapestry of culture woven rich and deep. The Taj Mahal, a teardrop on the cheek of time, stands as a testament to their architectural prowess. The Red Fort, a sentinel of power, speaks to their military might. As we delve into the Mughal era, we're forced to ask, did their reign for all its splendor come at a cost? The Renaissance was sweeping across Europe, a whirlwind of discovery and invention. Copernicus dared to challenge the heavens, Galileo turned his telescope to the stars, and Newton unraveled the mysteries of gravity. Yet in India, a different story was unfolding. While European monarchs were patronizing scientists, Mughal emperors seemed content with the status quo. Their focus remained on solidifying their empire and indulging in the finer things in life. Were the Mughals, blinded by their own grandeur, missing a crucial turn in the road? The Mughal Empire at its zenith was a sight to behold. Imagine caravans laden with silks and spices winding through bustling cities. The Mughals, masters of aesthetics, transformed the Indian landscape. They sculpted gardens that rivaled the mythical hanging gardens of Babylon. The air hummed with the verses of poets like Ghalib and Mir. This was their golden age, an era where art flourished, literature blossomed, and architecture reached breathtaking new heights. Among these emperors, one name shines particularly bright: Akbar. Known as Akbar the Great, his reign marked a period of relative religious tolerance and intellectual curiosity. He invited scholars from different faiths to his court, engaging in lively debates on philosophy, religion, and the natural world. This period, brief as it was, offered a glimpse of what might have been, a hint of a path not taken. The lure of luxury, art over innovation. The seeds of scientific inquiry sown during Akbar's reign failed to take root. His successors, though enamored by beauty and grandeur, seemed less interested in the pursuit of knowledge. The Mughal court became a place of exquisite indulgence. The pursuit of scientific knowledge was largely relegated to the sidelines. The shifting sands of curiosity. The Mughal Empire, vast and shimmering, was built on a foundation of military might and administrative efficiency. Their focus remained on consolidating their power and expanding their borders. This pragmatic approach, while essential for their political survival, came at a subtle cost. The emphasis was on practical knowledge, the art of warfare, the intricacies of diplomacy, the management of a vast and diverse populace. Science, in its purest form, was not actively nurtured. Jahangir, Astronomy's patron or captor. Jahangir, Akbar's son, presents a fascinating paradox. He patronized astronomers, providing them with instruments and platforms to study the heavens. Yet he saw astronomy more as a tool for astrology, rather than as a field of study worthy of exploration in its own right. The Mughal court, a spectacle of unparalleled grandeur, became both a symbol of the empire's success and a subtle drain on its intellectual resources. The emperors, surrounded by courtiers and artists, lived lives of extraordinary luxury. The vast sums spent on luxury goods could have been channeled towards other, potentially more transformative endeavors. The resources devoted to maintaining the lavish lifestyle of the Mughal court represented an opportunity cost. Meanwhile, across the world, a different kind of revolution was brewing. In Europe, the scientific revolution was gaining momentum, fueled by intellectual curiosity, royal patronage, and technological innovation. The Mughal Empire, despite its wealth, remained largely insulated from this intellectual ferment. The seeds of India's eventual subjugation were sown during this period of missed opportunities. As the Mughal Empire revelled in its golden age, a different kind of awakening was stirring across the seas. Europe, emerging from the Middle Ages, was experiencing a period of unprecedented intellectual and artistic fervour, the Renaissance. The spirit of inquiry permeated every aspect of life, from the arts and literature to the sciences and technology. The contrast with the Mughal Empire, for all its splendour, was becoming increasingly stark. Section 2. The Renaissance, Europe's Age of Inquiry. At the heart of the Renaissance lay a profound shift in thinking, a renewed appreciation for classical learning and a growing belief in the power of human reason. The invention of the printing press in the mid-15th century proved to be a watershed moment. Suddenly, knowledge was no longer the exclusive domain of the elite few. Scientific discoveries followed in rapid succession. The Renaissance was a period of immense creativity, innovation and intellectual ferment. Section 3. India's Silent Revolutionaries. Despite the lack of royal patronage, a tradition of scientific inquiry continued to exist. Indian mathematicians made significant advances in algebra, trigonometry and astronomy. Ayurveda, the traditional Indian system of medicine, continued to flourish. These achievements, however, often remained isolated, lacking the institutional support enjoyed by their European counterparts. Section 4. Seeds unsown, a legacy of what might have been. The Mughal Empire's legacy is a complex one, a tapestry woven from threads of both brilliance and missed opportunities. Their contributions to art, architecture and literature are undeniable. Yet one cannot help but wonder what might have been if the Mughal emperors had embraced scientific inquiry with the same zeal they displayed for constructing palaces. By the 18th century, the once mighty Mughal Empire began to show cracks in its glittering facade. Europe, fueled by the engine of the scientific revolution, was entering a new era, the Age of Exploration. The British East India Company recognized an opportunity in the weakening Mughal state. The Mughals, slow to grasp the transformative power of science and technology, found themselves outmaneuvered and outgunned. Meanwhile, back in Europe, a new revolution was underway, one that would fundamentally reshape the balance of power on a global scale, the Industrial Revolution. Fueled by coal and steam, it was an era of unprecedented technological innovation, mass production, and economic expansion. Factories sprang up across the English countryside, their iron and brick skeletons testament to the power of machines to multiply human effort. The invention of the steam engine revolutionized transportation, allowing for the mass movement of goods and people at speeds previously unimaginable. The Industrial Revolution was not without its dark side, of course. It created new forms of social inequality, exploited workers in often brutal conditions, and left an indelible scar on the environment. However, its impact on the course of human history is undeniable. It catapulted Europe to a position of global dominance, providing the technological and economic muscle to project its power across the globe. Countries that embraced industrialization, like Great Britain, were poised to reap the rewards. Those that lagged behind, like India under the waning Mughal rule, would become easy prey. It is tempting, with the benefit of hindsight, to judge the Mughals harshly for their perceived failure to embrace scientific progress. After all, had they invested more heavily in scientific inquiry, in building institutions of learning, in fostering a culture of innovation, perhaps the story of India's encounter with the West might have unfolded differently. However, such judgments, while understandable, risk simplifying a complex historical narrative. The Mughal Empire, like all empires, was a product of its time, shaped by specific historical circumstances, cultural values, and the ambitions of its rulers. Their focus on art, architecture, and administration, while arguably coming at the expense of scientific advancement, was not without its own logic and achievements. They created a vibrant and sophisticated culture, one that left an indelible mark on Indian art, literature and cuisine. Moreover, it is important to remember that scientific progress is not a linear, inevitable march towards enlightenment. It is a messy, unpredictable process, often driven by serendipity, individual genius, and the convergence of seemingly unrelated factors. The Mughal Empire stands as a testament to the complexities of history, a grand tapestry woven with threads of both brilliance and missed opportunities. We marvel at their architectural wonders, their intricate art, their mastery of administration. Yet we are left to ponder. Did their pursuit of aesthetic perfection come at the cost of scientific progress? Were the Mughals architects of their own decline, their neglect of science paving the way for European dominance? The answer, like most historical inquiries, is rarely black and white. The Mughal Empire, born in an era of conquest and expansion, understandably prioritized the tools of power: military might, diplomacy, and administrative efficiency. Science, while not entirely absent, was not woven into the fabric of their empire in the same way it was in Europe during the Renaissance and the Scientific Revolution. They were, in a sense, prisoners of their time, bound by the prevailing worldview, by the demands of empire building, and perhaps by their own success. Their opulent courts, while testaments to their wealth and sophistication, became both a distraction and a drain on resources that could have been channeled towards fostering scientific inquiry. The legacy of the Mughals, therefore, is one of paradox. They were architects of beauty, builders of empires, patrons of the arts. Yet they were also, perhaps unwittingly, architects of their own decline, their neglect of science leaving them vulnerable to the rising tide of European power. It is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most magnificent empires, if they fail to adapt, to innovate, to embrace the transformative power of new knowledge, risk being swept away by the relentless currents of history.